Thank you guys for clicking on the video. I am Sully, and today, fellas, we have our right wing edition of fantasy hockey, and I picked 5 guys that I think are studs, and a little bit are hopeful studs for me personally. And I think you guys will enjoy them. And I'm just going to let you know that NHL.com, I don't think is no longer. They're just not. They don't have their ducks in a row. I checked today. Alexander Ovechkin is moved to the left wing. Claude Giroux is listed as a right winger, but he's a center for Philly. And it's just getting a tad bit frustrating trying to figure out, the players. And I'm sorry, but Alexander Ovechkin will not be on this list. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of Alexander Ovechkin. First, definitely go get him. There's no reason why you wouldn't if you have the chance. Just watch out for the plus minus. He can sometimes hurt you, and sometimes he may go on weird droughts. He scored so many goals last year, but the problem is if you look the year beyond that, he sort of was dropping off in goal production, and so just go in knowing you don't know which OV you're going to get. And if he's on a hot streak and you run into an OV fanboy who's dying to get him, sell him high. And that's my advice for Ovechkin. If you have the opportunity to get Ovechkin, get him. And if you have the team where it's stable enough that you can sell him high, and that's Ovechkin for me. So coming at number 5 on the top 5 right wingers for this year, I'm going to pick Corey Perry. Now, Corey Perry is, some would say he's actually 9th in points, and I picked him at number 5 just because the loss of Bobby Ryan, I still think he's going to produce. I've seen interviews with this guy. He is determined. He is a bulldog. He doesn't quit, and he's so skilled that I think he's going to rise to the challenge. I think Anaheim is a team that is right there. I think they're right there. I just think, with sometimes it just doesn't go your way with the Sharks, man. They keep on coming, and then they just can't close the deal. I like, though, what Anaheim is doing, and I think passing up on Corey Perry, don't do it. So that's what I would say about Corey Perry. Last year, 15 goals, 21 assists, not his best year production-wise, but what I look for him, he has a solid plus. Right now I see it as a plus 18, excuse me. Plus 18. And so he can bring that plus minus fantasy stat. He can help that. But again, I look for the goals. I want Corey Perry back up to scoring goals. That's the thing. I don't look for him as an assist guy. I mean, if he gets assists, that's great. But I want that boy putting the puck in the net. And so I want the goals to go up a little bit. So that's number 5, Corey Perry. Number 4, I am not going to botch this name. I just forgot it. But it's Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau. And I looked that sucker up because I didn't want to mess up his name. And I think I said it right. This man, Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau, is an absolute great pickup for Colorado. He's a beast. Great hands. Great shot. 6 foot. He weighs buck 90, I think. That's what the NHL.com website has him as. 193. I think he's going to be a great complement to Duchesne and Stastny in Colorado. And I think they're going to do great things. They have a nice future ahead of them with Varlamov. He's young. And with Pierre, he's a very solid complement player with 18 goals and 25 assists. And that's one of the things I look for, guys. When I pick my studs for fantasy, I try to pick balanced players because you need guys that are going to balance your team out and give you all-around performance. And right now he has a plus 16 for last year, and so that's great. I mean, that's, again, plus 16. You can win those plus-minus battles with this guy. I would pick him up. I look for his growth in this game to really take off with Colorado. If they can really complement those 3 players, like I said, Parenteau, Stastny, and Duchesne, then I think they can do big things. And I just look for Pierre to have a great year all around, take that next step in his evolution as a player, and especially with his role in Colorado. And so number 3, this may come as a shock, but I really have Martin St. Louis very low on my list. just because, low as in, he was the leading point getter for right wingers, but number 3 may seem pretty low, but I just think Martin St. Louis, sometime you gotta start letting up. Age is getting up there, and they lost Vincent Lecavalier. I just don't know if he's going to be able to carry that load and bring that same type of production. I know Stamkos will. I don't doubt Stamkos, but Martin, I have questions about his game right now, and with him getting older, with them losing Lecavalier, Tampa isn't really pushing the forefront right now. I mean, in a few years, I think they can really make a push, but I just wonder. I think his time is up, and for fantasy-wise, if you're looking for assists, man, this kid brings it. 17 goals last year, 43 assists. He's great. He does all the great things. In real life, I would definitely want him on my team. And I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm just saying if you're going to take the top 5 in the league, he's number 3 for me. So coming in at number 2, we have Jakub Voracek from Philly, the right winger, Philadelphia Flyers. This guy, I really emphasize that, this guy, but I think he's going to have a great year. 22 goals last year, 24 assists, plus minus of 12. So he's not the best. He's not going to anchor that plus minus stat for you. But again, I looked up highlights of this guy. I think he's great. He's a scoring machine, especially with Claude Giroux. And if you're wondering why Giroux is not in my list, he's a center. He's the number 1 center for the Philadelphia Flyers, even though NHL.com has him listed as a right winger. He is a center for Philly, and so I think what I look for him from Jakub is to take control for Voracek, to take control of that goal scoring. I want more goals than assists. I want him to put the puck in the net, and I want his shots to go up because I think he's gonna be the main goal scorer along with Giroux. I think those two are really going to be a great duo for many years to come, and I look for him to step up that goal scoring, even though he had 22, which is pretty good number of goals for right wingers. I think he can take that jump to the next level, and with a full season, it's looking good for him and Giroux. So, number 1, if you don't know who he is, he doesn't need an introduction. Last year's Stanley Cup winner, Patty Kane. I think this kid, I think he's what can be said about Patrick Kane that isn't said already? I think he's the number 1 right winger in the NHL. The NHL to get for fantasy, and I think he's a great guy. I think what Patrick Kane really brings is determination. Plus minus to 21, he's very intelligent, and he has this nice balance I believe, of really standing out when he's on the ice, but also he goes to the open ice and he can really navigate the ice very well. And some players don't do that, but Patrick Kane, he is a force with 23 goals, 32 assists, and his goal scoring is there, but he also, with his line in Chicago, he can also get high assists. So really, you're looking at low risk, extremely high reward. I would definitely get him. And Patty Kane is the number 1 right winger for fantasy hockey. And so there you have my top 5 picks for fantasy hockey, the studs for the right wingers. That is my right wing edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I just want to say, I may not have covered, I didn't talk about Alexander Semin. He did not make the list for top 5. I would have him at top, if I was doing top 6, I would have him in there. The reason why is, real quickly, last year in the shortened season, he only had 13 goals, 31 assists. His plus minus was 21, which is really good. But my thing is, what I look at with Alexander Semin is I just don't, he takes too many careless penalties. I've watched this guy in Washington for so many years, and there are some games where he's going to step up and do great, score a hattie. I mean, he will do amazing things. Then there are some games where he shows up to the rink, but then you're like, Semin, you want to tap him on the head and be like, are you showing up tonight? What's the deal? And so I would say if you can get him in sort of a mid-round, don't spend I wouldn't spend a top 3 pick on on Semin. I think you can get him later. If you get him later, it's a steal. But he is just he's too much. There's too many risks involved with Semin. And so those are my top 5 right wingers. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm going to link another channel who's doing this series with me. He did centers. It's Billow Nickel. I'll link the video down below. He did centers, and I'm doing centers next, so it'll be interesting to see how we compare. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Check out his video. Have a great day. Peace.